First and foremost, UFC 293 is a terrible card to have to pay money for. Now, this card is filled with a bunch of guys from that island Pacific area, and I'm sure folks over there are buzzing about it. They get to see a lot of their homegrown talent fight on the biggest stage in the UFC in their region. But I can tell you in the States, there's not a lot of buzz surrounding his fight cards because there's not a ton to be excited about. But to be fair, the main event is not bad. It's a pretty good fight, but before I jump into all of that, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, one thing that's interesting to me about Israel Adesanya is I am waiting on him to break through as this transformative MMA figure like a Conor McGregor or a Ronda Rousey, because I do think that he has the charisma to pull that off. Even though if he comes off a bit weird sometimes, I still think he speaks very well. He's very confident. He is brash. And those are the type of folks who can cultivate large groups of people and gather these huge followings like the Conor McGregors and the Ronda Rouseys. But every time I feel like he gets right there on the brink, something halts the momentum. For example, I go back to whenever he knocked out Paulo Costa. Think about how huge that was and how much that was all over ESPN, mainly because of the antics he did afterwards. But the knockout also was spectacular. And he's had the crazy walkouts and all that type of stuff. When you think about the momentum he had at that particular point, that propelled him to get an opportunity to go up to light heavyweight and try to capture titles at two divisions. He fought Jan Blachowicz, and it did not go well for him. He lost the fight. Boom, his momentum is now halted. And then after that, he fought Marvin Vettori in a not so fan-friendly fight. And boom, now he has to sort of go back to this certain milestone he'd already hit and then try to build his way back up to get that momentum to where he's about to break out again. I feel like right now he's back in that position and he has that momentum again after regaining his title from Alex Pereira because of the insane knockout that he was able to get and the clean celebration he had right afterwards. I mean, that celebration was nothing short of spectacular. But here's the thing that's tripping me up a little bit, right? We're sort of in a situation where this fight card is bad and there's been little to no buildup. So there's not a ton of anticipation for this upcoming fight. Now, I can't necessarily say it's his fault. He was supposed to be fighting Dricus du Plessis, but Dricus wasn't ready to fight. Izzy was ready to fight at that particular time, and I get it. Stay busy, and keep your tools sharp. So now he's fighting Sean Strickland, and the weird part about this is I feel like Sean Strickland and Izzy would be great dance partners in a fight build-up. And maybe as we get into fight week, we'll actually start seeing that. But right now, there has not been a ton between the two that's going to get you ready for this fight. I haven't heard anything from Sean Strickland in the lead up to this fight that can convince me that he has made some adjustments or made enough adjustments from his loss to Alex Pereira that will make me think that he's going to come in and dominate Izzy or figure out how to solve the Izzy puzzle. I did hear him answer some questions about maybe grappling Izzy, but then he pretty much said, I'm not really going to do that. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to stand and bang with him. So now this leads me into my prediction for the fight. How is Sean Strickland going to win this? I can't picture a way that he's going to go out there in a championship fight and beat Israel Adesanya in a kickboxing match. That's not going to happen. I can't see that. I just can't see it happening. And I respect Sean's skills. Some of the stuff he does outside of the octagon, I try not to pay attention to because the dude is nuts. But in terms of what he brings in the octagon, I respect what he can do. I respect his skill set. I think it is something that is not super flashy, but it's impactful, it's effective, and he finds a way to win with it. And he can put a pace and pain on people that breaks him down. But I've seen so many different approaches to trying to crack the puzzle of Israel Adesanya. Not many people have been able to do that. And I have not seen anything from Sean Strickland in the lead up to this fight that will lead me to believe that he's going to be another one of the people that's cracked this very, very difficult task. I just don't know what he's going to do. Now, as I'm thinking about it, maybe he can get in the inside and get and do some clinch work, but Izzy's not bad in the clinch either. And Izzy is really good about maintaining space and getting in and out of range and using lateral movement to evade positions that could potentially be detrimental to him. He's so good at all of this. I just don't know if Sean Strickland is going to have much form. Now, here's what I will say. I'll give Sean Strickland and his team credit. They do make some adjustments at times, and I do think Sean Strickland, although he puts a pace on folks, he's very good about keeping himself safe for the most part because he doesn't tend to take a ton of damage, even though he has in some of his more recent fights. I do think he'll stay safe enough to not get finished, but I can't see him walking into this fight and winning more than a round against Israel Adesanya if he doesn't plan to do something outside of the box. If he's going to go in and say, I'm going to have a striking or basically a kickboxing match with Israel Adesanya, that's not going to go well. No. Here's what would be great for Israel Adesanya before I wrap this up. If he can go in and get another viral finish, I think that momentum meter still continues upward. And his next fight would then be against Dricus, which that could blow him through the roof and make him that transformative star that I believe he has the potential to be. But we'll have to see. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. Peace.